Hey folks, Talkin Pit. It's us. The fellas. Mini Matt, Juker, and Goater Sneeze. Thanks for joining me.
Hello.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
We're going to talk about video games.
Wait a minute, I wasn't told about this. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry for the jump.
I don't know if I trust video games.
Mini Matt, if you're ready, I got your game up, actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
You can start us off. Let me get you on screen here.
All right, so the game I'm going to be discussing today is a 2006, I believe. No, 2006 Nintendo DS rhythm game called Elite Beat Agents. So this is a game that has like a truly baffling story behind why it's made. It is the most American rhythm game of all time by design.
It really is.
My plan is to just like start out with the cutscene before this particular stage. It's like a minute long, and then while the stage is going, talk a bit about what the game is like, how it's played, and just the history of why it is the way it is, because it's a deeply, deeply fascinating game. And also, I want to touch a bit on the setting, because it's the most insane part of it, but it's kind of a product of its story. So I'm just going to hit play and get started with this. So every stage in this rhythm game begins with like one of these animated like comic book cutscenes, right? This one is baseball. It's the baseball man.
See a baseball hits so friggin' hard.
I'll make sure
Yeah,
we're not on that. The mics.
Oh, I can hold on. There we go. You shouldn't be going through voice meter anymore on my
Sweet.
input.
Now I can listen
Alright.
to these great sounds.
Thank you for the reminder. So the story here for famous baseball player Hulk Bryman is that he's fallen off. Like he's cooked. He's going through the worst time of his life. That's what's happening to a lot of people. And now there's a golem in the theme park he works in now. It's a fire-breathing golem. And it's every stage is kind of like this. They're all deranged.
Kid.
And they all start like this. Someone has the worst day of their life. They call for help, and then this mysterious government organization called the Elite Beat Agents gets sent out to help them. Notice their branded teacup ride. They have like 1,000 Batman cars of various types. Their deal is the Elite Beat Agents. They're kind of like a mix between 50-50 Charlie's Angels and biblical Jesus. And I'm not saying that like as a bit. That's kind of
No, I agree with you. I played this. You're absolutely right.
1,000%. and I'll explain that in a little more detail. We have to work our way up to it, right? So this is what the game is like. The bottom screen, you have your stylus. You tap the circles. You drag it across the lines. There will be spinners sometimes. Unbelievably simple gameplay. It's very, very fun. This video encoded a little weird, but if people haven't played it before, it emulates really well. It's not that long of a game either. There's like 17 stages. Highly recommend playing it for yourself. I'm not going to be going over too many of these stages, but this is just kind of like the general conceit of someone has a huge problem, and the agents who are kind of monitoring everything everywhere all at once with a genuine omniscience get sent out to like cheerlead them.
I was gonna ask, because like the baseball guy is clearly kicking this golem's ass. What did they need the Elite Beat Agents for? But
oh yeah, they never do anything except one time, well, I guess two times in the entire game they do literally anything. But other than that, they're just dancing. They're supporting someone who is solving their own problems. The elite beat agents help those who help themselves.
They're the bards.
Is like the thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I find the aesthetic of this game very charming.
It's great. I like it really.
It is.
Yeah, they're like down there doing these goofy dances to American pop music. It's bad. You can see he's kind of like bunching it on the top. Yeah. Yeah. If you do bad, it goes bad up top. If you get like a perfect, they like cook. So the way you're doing in the stage affects the top screen, but it's like binary pass or fail at the end of it.
Okay.
If you're above a certain point, Hulk Bryman will hit the golem in the nuts with a big fireball and save the day.
Big
Hooray.
finish.
He's about to say his iconic line, "You bet, kid."
You bet, kid.
You bet, kid.
You bet.
And these screens look very funny on a capture because they're designed.
Yeah, he's squimshed. Just
Let me go back to the beginning really quickly. The Stout Commander Con is very excellent. Like, this dude is extremely cut off.
I was laughing about that, but didn't want to interrupt you, so I'm very glad that you went back.
It's so good. I'll leave us on this for a second. Why is this game like this? Why is this the most American game of all time? Why did they make it? What is the deal? Well, to understand that, we actually have to go back in time about a year from 2006. November 2006 is when this came out, just in time for the Christmas season. About a year and a half before that, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, Bean Counter over at Nintendo notices something very strange. There is one Nintendo DS game that, by like several magnitudes, is getting imported to the States more than anything else. A Japanese-only release called... I always forget the exact name, because it's always shortened to Oendon. I think it's Ostatake Oendon, which like roughly means like go fight cheer squad. It is a rhythm game that has the exact same gameplay as this, is actually built on the same engine. And the conceit is an Oendon is a like known Japanese quantity. It is a male cheer squad that often like cheers at sports games from like the high school to professional level. Very like aggressive masculine cheering. And the idea about the game is that there is like a squad that does this for all of Japan. They go around Japan kind of doing the same thing, helping people, cheering them on while they do stuff. And this game was massively imported. Just like maybe the most imported DS title of all time. And when they saw that, down at Innis, the developer said, you know what, maybe we should just localize it. But they ran into a problem. The problem is that nobody has ever heard the term Oendon in the States in their life, and that is true for everything in the game. It's an extremely Japanese culture game, doused in Japanese pop culture, tons of concepts and stuff that just we would have no frame of reference for. And the problem they had was anyone who wanted to play it, regardless of that, had already imported it. But the market was clearly there, so they decided to just make a new one from the bottom up, directly made for American audiences. The mission statement for Elite Beat Agents was to make the most American rhythm game of all time. That was their actual legitimate goal. And it's awesome. And they asked themselves, okay, what do Americans like? And the answer was sports, movies, and the Bible. And so we get this crazy game where, like, I'll just like pop over, to it. Like the first stage is you're like, it's like super Americana suburbs. You're like helping a babysitter with her football loving boyfriend. She's had like kids dropped off at her. He's gonna break up with her. It's the kids or him, is what he says.
And just right in your head for a second of somebody just shoveling donuts in, going yum yum.
Oh yeah, she's hungry. That's the second kid. The whole game is like this. It's incredible. Look at this guy. baby equals football, sports, football. It's so awesome. Yeah. How am I doing on time, by the way, Smite?
Oh, you're good.
Okay, sick. Yeah, she's hungry. She craves the donuts. You know, this is of course to Skater Boy. It's about a taxi driver who just goes nuts when he's behind the wheel, and he promises to be good, except the day he promises to be good, a pregnant woman asks him for a ride to the hospital. And so he has to like lock the fuck in.
You know, it's a good thing that he's really, really fast and really good at driving up walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of goated. I think the
most.
It's so good. The most American stage of all, by far, is I think it's like right before the baseball one, maybe. Yeah, it's the one where you help an oil mogul drill for more oil. He's lost all his money and his wife has kicked him out of the house.
No, I forgot about this one.
Yeah, he has to win his wife back by making $1 billion digging for oil. Popular pop music at the time in 2000s, by the way, Let's Dance. So like, it really is just deliberately as American as possible. It's very, very funny. The list of songs is crazy. We've got like Sum 41,
yeah, I heard that.
Purple, Village People,
Deep Purple, very American.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, Canned Heat by Jamiroquai, Material Girl by Madonna. Just all over the place. It's just, what are my favorite songs that were popular in America anytime in the last 30 years?
Now desperately want the devs of this game and the people who may still remain at FromSoft who are responsible for Metal Wolf Chaos to just get together and make a game.
I'd play it.
God, I wish they would make more. Unfortunately, Innes went on to make like iconic titles such as the Black Eyed Peas Experience and Just Sing. And then they wanted to make a new title like kind of in this vein. They made like Parappa the Rapper, they made Guitar Man. They wanted to make another one that was trying to get crowdfunded, and then it didn't, and then the company folded. So we're never going to get anything like this ever again.
I didn't know that part.
Like, this game is like loosely story-driven. Each of these is like their own vignette. I'm just going to jump between a bunch because, you know, a limited amount of time and they're all really awesome. September is one of my favorite stages. This mother has promised her child that the weather will be good for a picnic, and then she has to go to work and it's 100% chance of rain, and so she just lies. She just fucking lies on air and says it's gonna be sunny, but then, like, you know, the Air Force and everyone in her apartment complex, they just keep saying, oh, we watched the show, don't worry, we got you, and they literally chase the clouds away. It's amazing.
It's very nice of them.
The game ends with, like, the aliens who really fucking hate music. They, like, they take over the world and ban music and put everyone from every stage into, like, music jail, where you get put for liking music. And, like, our man, Hulk Bryman, is the first one to snap. And he, like, you know, he starts calling for help. That's how you call for the elite beat agents. And everyone in music jail, like, hopes and prays really hard. And so, of course, they show up and, like, have a big dance party and...
Huge.
Between two different songs. Yeah, in between, they die, but they get brought back to life by the power of, like, a child's tears. And they dance to Jumpin' Jack Flash so hard that the aliens... literally fucking explode. It's sick.
It's wild.
That absolutely rules.
The thing about it is, the lead I've kind of buried is, but I did talk about it a bit, the elite beat agents are just positioned as, like, the religious biblical authority figures of this universe. And that's the other thing I want to talk about if I still have time, because it's crazy how this organization operates.
Biblically accurate agents.
They respond to like calls for help, but there is no limit at all to what they can accomplish. See, this stage is like a shitty Leonardo da Vinci who like falls in love with the actual Mona Lisa. But the part about this that is important is it is in 15th century Florence. It's not a modern day Leonardo da Vinci. It is just the 15th century. But despite that,
Also,
Leonardo here calls for help, and it gets picked up. They're able to receive this call from help from like centuries in the past, and it makes absolutely no difference to them. They send them back in time into their branded horse-drawn carriage.
Gorgeous.
So like, it's this organization that will help you, but not really. They won't do anything. But if you like pray to them, if you call to them in your time of need, they will give you like the spiritual support you need to solve your biggest problems. And it's so fascinating to me because this is a holdover from Oendon, right? Like the cheer squad thing. But they decided a cheer squad was not something Americans would like, so they made it a government organization mixed with like super spy movies. And because of that, because of like this weird merger of like the cheer squad that doesn't actually do anything and a government agency with limitless omniscient oversight, you end up with this like deeply religious sort of figure of the elite beat agents. And this really comes to a crux in the most memorable stage of the game, the one that like most people think of. It's either the last one, Jumpin' Jack Flash, or episode 12, A Christmas Gift. And I would like to let this play out a little bit. I might be going over on time, and I'm sorry, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. But like this is crazy. This is insane. Before you play this stage, the last stage you played is likely the song in this game that's from, I think, Ashley Simpson. You either played a Madonna or Ashley Simpson song before this.
Oh, so they're not in order. You kind of sort of pick stages. It's been a while, so I don't know.
You can, except for this one. Every other stage is in a block of 3, except exactly the last stage and exactly episode 12, A Christmas Gift. And what episode 12 is the dad asks what the kid wants for Christmas, and she wants, a girlfriend for her teddy bear. Like, adorable. Dad goes off to work. We cut 6 months later. The dad has died. This is a stage
for cigarettes.
No, he is dead. This is a stage about a grieving family coming to terms with the loss of their father figure, the husband. It is about this child accepting that her dad is dead and this grieving wife learning to pick up the pieces. And this is like between the funny song about music jail and like the funny song from Madonna. And this is where it makes the lore of the entire game so interesting to me, is that in this stage, this is the only stage in the game this happens, they do not call for help. But Commander Khan still is seeing this happen, which means they are, in fact, watching everything everywhere simultaneously, looking for people with problems. They are, in fact, a completely omniscient organization that gets to make this judgment call. This stage is actually like genuinely pretty touching, and most people remember it. Like, it has different hit marker sounds. The agents are like not dancing like a bunch of like goofy idiots. Like, it's kind of played very straight and taken seriously. Like, they really do just pick up the pieces and learn to live without the husband. just fucking kidding, because the end of this song, the craziest thing in the entire game happens. The whole thing is kind of them looking at photos, celebrating birthdays, just coming to terms with their grief in our funny rhythm game. And then if you beat the stage, at the end of the song, the Elite Beat agents bring the father back to life for one day so that they can say their goodbyes. So they do, in fact, do something one time, and it's bringing a man back from the fucking dead.
Look, if you're going to do something, like one thing in your life, make it a big one, I guess.
Right?
It is a big one.
It's crazy.
Merry
They
Beatmas.
really are just like, Merry Christmas. Sports, movies, and Jesus. That's Elite Beat agents. And it's, it sounds crazy laid out by this, but it works. It really does work, because they did kind of understand the mission statement that there's no way to make this seem reasonable. So instead they just leaned into, if it's cool, we put it in the game. If it's funny, we put it in the game. It's just great. It's a really good rhythm game. I highly recommend it to anyone who has not played it. It is very funny, except for exactly this stage, which people all the time when they post about this game are like, oh, stage 12 made me cry. Great game. I need to stop because it's been like 20 minutes. I'm way over my time.
Ruining my
Yeah, how dare you
It's a
talk
really
about
good
a video
game, though.
game happily. I hate it when you do that.
You
I
want to
love
hear
this
something
game.
crazy about this game, Miniman, that I learned recently?
What?
So, Oendon 1 was its own game, then they made that, and then they made Oendon 2. There's actually, in Oendon 2, you can get the Elite Beat agents as an unlockable in that game,
Yeah.
which is
It was a
so
kiosk
crazy. Because
You could do that. You could get them in this game too. You had to like go to a like a GameStop.
It's I guess people imported back to Japan as well with Elite Beat agents.
Yes, this actually. So the Oendon imported like crazy to the US. Elite Beat agents imported like crazy to Japan. Like it had as high of an import. It was like also the most imported English to Japanese game as well. And like it didn't just take from Oendon. The last stage in this game, Oendon 2, the sequel, is just the last stage from Elite Beat agents, literally beat for beat, with no meaningful changes besides it being like the sun has gone out instead of aliens have taken over the world. But it is exactly the last stage otherwise. So it's kind of cool that this game got a lot from Oendon and then it like gave something back to it.
It is a really cool story in terms of the game itself, not the actual game. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely, exactly. Anyway, that's Elite Beat agents. That's the insane story about why this game was made, why it is the most yeehaw drilling for oil rhythm game ever seen. Thank you for letting me have time to talk about this game. I love this game. I've wanted to tell people about the weird Jesus secret agents for so long. The last thing I will say is this game has 19 songs and it is an unbelievable copyright filter. They are all fine on Twitch. I have been streaming with the soundtrack in the background for like 2 years and never gotten like even VOD muted. So if you look up the song list and there's an American pop song on it that you actually like, it does not get flagged because it is a cover from a rhythm game.
The last Elite Beat Agents
That's
miracle.
good to know.
Yeah, the last miracle. Merry Christmas. Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Hello, it's me, Gildersmith.
Scott for us.
All right,
there we
look,
go.
friends, chat. Did you like Papers, Please? By any chance?
Yes, I do.
Did you like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes?
I do, yeah.
How do you feel about roguelites?
Pretty good.
What if all three of those were together?
All right, I'm listening.
Because I've got the game for you. It's Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. This game, I was obsessed with this for about a month straight. You play Wilbur, this cute little four-eyed fox-headed guy. He's kind of, I don't know. He ended up on a space station somewhere, Now they're in the cosmos. I'm going to try very hard to not spoil this. The story goes places. So I'm going to preface this right now. If you know the game, I'm not going to talk about the story too much. However, you somehow got caught in this endless life or death cycle with a guy named Druce, who may or may not be a large spider demon. You never know. Either way, it's got that roguelite loop where, you try to win, you die, you come back, you start over from scratch, and you keep trying to do that. However, the neat part about it is you are like, okay, so here we go. I'll starting at the beginning of the day. We kind of flashbang ourselves first because that's what the game does to you, which kind of sucks. But we start out in our little trailer. We wake up in the morning on the first day again of a new cycle. Head downstairs and head to work because we're now a mechanic, like a spaceship mechanic out in the middle of like some asteroid somewhere. And our first rent payment will be $280. This is Uncle Chop. Uncle Chop gave us, quote unquote, gave us a job. And by that, I mean, we're basically an indentured servant. Similar to many other games where you have to manage your money. There's Druce behind the counter. So yeah, every day you punch in. And you might see me fumble, forgetting that you have to hit Q for back instead of escape occasionally.
That is weird.
You run out. Yeah, it's a very weird key. You can't rebind it. You answer the phone. You get to choose from a couple of jobs here. I'm going to pause occasionally just to bring this up. Sorry for the Windows Media Player overlay there. Anyway, you can choose between the jobs. The little black icons there that have white symbols in them tell you what kind of thing might be broken on the case. In this case, I'm going to take the one on the right because I don't have the proper machine for fixing a star map. This one just needs a fuel job and an oil change or an oil fix, depending on what goes on. And then you accept the job. A ship will land. A strange alien being will come out and yap at you, sometimes in a language you understand, sometimes like this. Why he's shaped like a giant T, I'll never know, but he is. And then you run over here, grab the two leaders off the phone, check it up, fix the oil module, replace the oil, fix the fuel module, and you find which module is where on the ship, and check to see what's wrong by going into it. Now, this is where keep talking comes in. So some of this stuff I already know. Some of this, I've played 60 hours of the game, so I have most of the manual memorized. So as you see, I looked at that little symbol. It's a triangle facing down with a slash through it, 2 dots. That means we got to come over to that tab and then that chapter in the little book here, our grimoire, as it were. And then, as you can see here, it's showing us a diagram of the various parts of the. It's extremely papers, please, and then keep talking as well. So heads up. It's showing us where where we can check the oil levels, see the heat vent, how much heat temperature or heat there is built up on it, the fluid ports to change the oil, panel latches if you need to open it up and get inside there and all sorts of stuff. And I'll run through quickly on this repair here. We're going to need to check the fluid for chunks. If there's chunks, that means the oil's dirty and you got to run some cleaner through it. And then there's how to change the heatsink, how to change the pump. And this is just one of, I don't know how many modules there are. There's a lot. As I said, the story goes places and new modules may or may not appear anyway, we pop open this panel to look on the underside. We can see that the heatsink is completely missing. So that means we're going to need to go to the damn side. Yeah, how they got here without a heatsink and the oil's all chunked up. So we've got to get the good stuff. There was me hitting the pause menu instead of backing out. So you go to the shop, you buy a heatsink, and yes, you do have to pay for literally everything, including machines that you need to buy to increase the capabilities of your workshop. Oh yeah, it does. CB does bring up a good point in chat. It does not shy away from the F-bomb. So if you're not a fan of cussing, you may not want this one. I don't know if you've got kids watching you play or something like that. But if you can handle some grown-up language, it's fine.
I'm a big fan of the soda fountain, but for oil.
Yeah. It's for everything. Note that the categories on that thing are, let's see here. What have we got? Oops, I kind of ran past it.
Oil, cleaner, coffee.
Hold on, let's see. Damn it. I skipped forward. There we go. There's oil, freeze, pus, cleaner, coffee, nat nourish, blood, and also blood. All of which will be important at some point during the game.
Even also blood? Wow.
Oh yeah, you can go deep into debt. You can you need to upgrade your station, so you can absolutely. Okay, I almost made a crucial mistake there. If I had started this if I had run the pump without draining the heat, which I almost forgot to do because the heatsink was busted, it would have blown up the canister and I'd have to go buy another one, which would have been a real pain in the ass. So yeah, basically what you're doing is you're looking through the tome. I'm going to skip ahead just a touch here to get to a more complicated job. This is the fuel, just replacing the fuel tanks on a thing. You got to pop open the hatches, pull down the red switch, open those bolts, pull down the middle latches, get some new fuel tanks, because somehow this guy got here with no fuel tanks installed. Your guess is as good as mine.
It's fine.
Is it though?
It's fine.
Then you got to fill the fuel tanks over here, choosing the correct fuel and everything like that. It's just, the loop is extremely fun, and as I said, the story goes places, and it keeps you hooked in. It really does. And sometimes the fixes are really simple, like pretty easy to memorize, and other times, as we'll see in just a moment. Let me skip forward a bit to the next ship where we've got to fix a rebreather. Rebreathers can have, oh gosh, up to like 10 or 11 things wrong with it or so. So yeah, I kind of skipped forward to the point where we needed to fix. Let's see see if I can remember what all we got to fix if we look at the rebreather itself. I was just showing the manual. There's like a pump, a filter, 2 canisters, snails, foliage, a feeder full of snail juice. The snails may need they need the correct amount of foliage to look at while they're making air, I suppose. They need a surplus of feed. They need the correct temperature. 2 to 3 snails are recommended for optimal gas production. Snails are purchasable from all good retailers. And these, so there are, yeah, we'll get to the time modes in a second, Flynn. I got you 1 second. Currently, I'm on the time mode that lets you have 3 days or 3 jobs per day and all the time in the world to do said jobs. So what we need to do here, we're going to need to, let's see, replace the heating coil, which I'm about to remove there because it's broken itself into pieces. It looks like all the trees are dead. If they're bright green, they're good. And if they're red, they're dead. It needs a new canister, which we can conveniently use one of the oil canisters we just happen to keep into our inventory the whole time. Perfect. We open this out. And yeah, all those trees are dead, but the gnat nourish is full, so that's good. We don't have to get them any food. Very convenient. Run over, purchase all that crap, and bring it back here. So we bought a whole bunch of trees, the coils, all the good stuff. Then let's see, we'll close that up. Oh yeah, that's a very important thing. Always remember to close up your stuff. If you don't close it up and button it all down, you will get docked pay for it. And you know the whole goal is to pay your rent within 3 days, or you know, bad things might happen. Who can say what? You get killed and have to start over. So yeah, you get to see like how you did after that and everything like that. But yeah, see, this is what happens if you fail to pay your rent in the first cycle. I'm not going to spoil anything else. Hello, valued devotee. I've come to collect your first rent payment of 280. Oh, this breach will not go unpunished. Your position here is untenable. You'll be removed. You need not collect your things. Goodbye. And stop. The game does have a little bit of gore. Yeah, no, you're done. When I say you're done, I mean you're done. Uncle Chop does not tolerate failure. Usually he crushes you to death with a giant heavy weight or whatever, but that was the first time I've ever seen. And then you get to talk to Druce again. And slowly but surely you learn a little bit about Druce and a little bit about yourself and stuff like that. And as I said, the story goes places and it's very, very good. It's well written. It's funny. The gameplay is incredibly addicting. It will, if you like having to figure out a big complex manual full of stuff going on, you'll do it. Oh, and I forgot to unmute the music because the music is fucking banging. Here we go. I'll give you all a little sample of that right quick. Why is it playing back twice? It's so good. Oh, and for those who do not, like, I didn't get a chance to put it in, you can pet these cats. Like, the cats are very pettable and very sweet.
Yes. God, yes.
And finally. You get an achievement
all
for
good
it.
video games let you pet the animals.
Yeah, there's meta progression for it. There's all kinds of, like, upgrades you can get for yourself. As I said, the game is glorious. It's very, very good. It's only $20. Far as I can tell, and, you know, this is always a dangerous thing to say, but the devs seem like cool people, like, not dickheads. It's, I don't know, every time I say that, I swear a skeleton jumps out of a closet, but you know, so far, thus far, they have not been awful. There are fascinating and delicious lore threads. Now, as I said, real quick, there's 2 modes. This one is the one where I've got, if you look at the top there, you can see those 3 circles that I'm highlighting with my mouse. This is the one where you get 3 jobs per day. There is a frantic mode where you have 7.5 minutes, I believe, That may be after an upgrade. It might be 6.5 minutes to start to do as many jobs as you can in one day. That mode, I can't hang after the later game. I'm a little too old, but oh man, it's still super fun if you play on, like, it's not even easy mode because they make the jobs more complicated with more things that go wrong and little nitpicky things that go wrong as well. So it's easy to kind of overlook something. So it's not, you don't just like give yourself a free pass to beat the game by going to slow mode for people who are like, well, what if I made it too easy on myself? And for one, just enjoy a game. If it's easy, that's fine. Have fun playing it. But if you're worried about that, there is added challenge to the jobs, like from job one. Instead of timed mode kind of ramps up a little slower in how complex the jobs get. And they range from things like just changing a fuel tank to changing a starship nuclear reactor, and if you screw that up, you explode and end your run immediately. So don't screw up. Either way, probably one of the best games I played in the past 5 years. I played it for one time. I was like, I'll probably get a stream out of this, maybe. And then the next thing I knew, I was 60 hours deep. Plenty of people watching, people like enjoying the game, talking about it and stuff like that. And I want more eyes on it, more people playing it. These kind of games need to get made. The music is great, the art is great, the gameplay is great, and that's Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. That's what I got to say about it.
Walk animation is great.
Oh yeah, the walk animation. He's very like gut forward. I guess it's very funny.
It's real good.
Wink, wink,
It's real expressive.
It is. Yeah, that's what I got. It's a fantastic game. Play it, get it, play it.
All right.
And I will pass the torch on to Juker.
All right.
Juker, what you got?
I've got Illbleed. Illbleed is a game that is very, very different. It's, how do I even describe this game? It doesn't really play like any other video game out there. You're essentially walking through a haunted house and have to look for the traps by using your senses. I guess let's see what the intro has for us, because it'll tell us all about the game.
I'm excited about watching some Illbleed too. Game's so good.
For as long as I can remember, my family.
Now you'll notice immediately, the voices are not coming out of the mouth because the mouth isn't moving.
People a new thrill, a new nightmare. I kind of like traveling.
I love it, honestly. Their previous game had the mouths moving, so I guess it was a choice to not have the mouths move.
My dad was always conjuring up new devices, tricks, and traps, each one scarier than the last. Guess who he tried them out on? Yep, me.
Essentially, the main character here, as her backstory is telling, doesn't have a sense of fear. And that actually ends up coming into the gameplay.
I was a pretty fearless kid by the time I was 5, thanks to my fearsome father. He fed on others' fears and was never satisfied. My mom couldn't stand how obsessed he'd gotten, so she thankfully divorced him when I was 6. Yet I had gotten attached to horror. I remember how that good old Halloween pillow and a hot red water bath soothed me. I think I might major in child psychology.
A reasonable reaction.
Honestly, it is a reasonable reaction. These are her friends.
That was great. I mean, you're the head of the horror research club, and
they're all weirdos. I love it.
It's a given. You win this.
That guy needs lessons on how to pronounce horror.
He does. The horror research club. Yes, that's correct.
What, Michelle? Why didn't you listen to Eriko's speech?
I don't need to. I know she'll win. Here, take a look at this.
those are guest invitations to Illbleed. How'd you get them?
From a Pepco promotion.
Kill! Look, we can win $100 million there.
Yeah, if we can manage to get through the whole park, that is.
No sweat. I'm game if you are.
Sure thing. I'm with ya. Whoa, whoa.
Game had some real good sounds.
What about you, Erico?
I think I'll pass. It sounds too good to be true.
Why? You just said in your speech to conquer your fear and surpass the odds. Come on, we can
That dude
test your
rules.
theory.
He
Sounds
does.
like we're trying to be superheroes or something.
That's I believe that one's Randy on the right.
Biggie. It's just a house of horrors. Probably full of cheesy props and gags.
Which proves what's so weird about this. How can a funky place like that afford $100 million reward?
Who knows? Maybe they'll make it take so long to get through it. Everyone will give up, go home, and the horror honchos will end up with a lot of free publicity.
Or else the whole thing is a hoax, and they don't have the money at all.
I agree with him.
I'm down with that.
I'm not voting or going.
For real?
Are you positive?
You sure?
Yep, you heard me.
Okay, Your Highness. Then we three humble slaves shall bring back the $100 million, and you'll be sorry.
I can't wait to commune with the undead.
I'd use the money for a chainsaw and hack my way into fame and fear. Ha ha!
Oh, brother. Okay, then. We'll catch you later, Erico.
It is definitely one of the games of all time.
For sure.
Gotta love the run cycles too. The run cycles are great. I think the intro cutscene sets the very cheesy vibe for this game pretty well. Yeah, I mean, chainsaws are expensive. Have you ever bought a chainsaw? $100 million, you know? This is the last bit of the intro, and then I can start talking about the game more.
Excuse me, did you
Oh,
say
right,
the
yeah, your name is Chainsaw Unicorn, that makes
down
sense.
here 3 days ago, they had special invites. What?
That's translation.
It is. So, that right there is really important. The game doesn't really do a good job at telling you that there's a tutorial. Most players just kind of ignore it and don't know how to play the game. Essentially, now that I can play the game, you can run around and you got a first-person view. You use your senses, but let me double check something. I'm trying to remember which button it is to change the camera. Is it? I think it's the D-pad. There we go. Okay. I almost never change it, but this is the new file. They ended up hiding the tutorial off in this like alley over here, and
Nice.
it's kind of fucked up that they would do this because most players are not gonna see that. But we're gonna be using our senses. It'll probably be better if I show things off myself, including your sixth one. Yeah. I mean, you use taste in this game to heal. I would argue that counts. But every level is like going through a horror movie or haunted house, and you have to find what's going on, what's gonna like jump out and get you. But there's a prize. Now, up here you'll see the prize is $10,000. This game is such a janky mess that they actually got it wrong. I'll skip this cutscene just because we gotta talk about the game. So they actually got the prize wrong. It's actually 50,000.
Just a slight inconsistency.
Yeah, you know, just a slight inconsistency. So now what you have to do in this game, as I mentioned, is you need to find the traps, right? So you're gonna use your senses. You've got sight, hearing, smell, and sixth sense. Sight, if you see anything that looks like it might be an issue, you know, take note of that. If it's hearing, what makes sound, that makes sense. Smell, what would smell bad? Makes sense. Sixth sense indicates that there is an enemy or an item nearby. What you want to do is you want to mark things. Now, unfortunately, the game really fucked up here, and the thing you need to mark things actually is past this, so you have to get hurt here. And you lose a comedic amount of blood. But most players would just like go into the house because honestly, why wouldn't you? You know, that makes sense, right? But if you go over here, this is the important item you need that is in the tutorial. You need to get it in each stage. This is the horror monitor. It lets you mark things. So now if you go into first person, there's a bit of resource management now. You have adrenaline, you have blood, you have health. Adrenaline is basically how you mark things. So like, there's a guaranteed trap right here. The traps are a bit randomized. So if I think there's a trap there, I can press a button and then I'll mark it. Now, because that's actually a trap and you can see that the sight's going off, nothing happens, essentially. But you get rewarded for marking it, but you get your adrenaline back. So, with this game, you want to try and get through what's essentially like, I guess you could say kind of like an amusement park haunted house. But it becomes a really fun game of like taking it slow and observing your environment. And I mean, the game's an absolute mess. I mean, you saw the intro. It's very, very silly, very janky. But I kind of really hate that the game doesn't tell people how to play the game. But at the same time, I think it makes it more interesting to talk about. So like if I go over here, I believe the phone is dangerous. And then there's a little newspaper clipping here you can read. We're not gonna read that because of time. But what's really wild about this game to me, and like anyone else who's seen this game, every level in this game plays completely differently. So you might be like, okay, well, I went through all the trouble to learn everything, right? Well, they decided it was a good idea for some reason to have every level have completely different rules, which kind of makes what is already a very difficult tutorial level like a baffling experience, because now you have to figure out how to play the game normally. Then it's like, all right, I figured out how to do it. So like, what comes next? Essentially, they just throw away the marking in the second level before they go back to it. Oh no, spooky blood. The third level has a lot of chasing. Chasing is a thing that happens later. Oh no. I'm looking for, there's an enemy nearby.
A terrifying light turning on.
Lights are scary. You ever get like blinded by one? I think that, yeah, this is an enemy right here. So our character doesn't have a sense of fear. So she could actually, when she gets scared by enemies, instead of freaking out like every other character in the game will, if you decide to play as them, when you unlock them, they freak out on the floor for like a minute. She doesn't do that, but there are two ways to win combat. You can either fight, you can do that, or you can call for help from the helicopter floating above. Also, you have like the most iframes in a video game I've ever seen. They're extremely generous. You just fly away.
Wow.
As there always is. Yeah. I mean, anyone who's been to a haunted house knows there's always a helicopter above you.
I do love that getting on a helicopter is a narrow escape.
It is, yeah. It's pretty narrow. Yeah, I love trying to figure out where the traps are, and because they are mostly randomized, it does add some good replay value to the game. One of the levels I like actually encourages you to just walk into all the traps, because it's like, oh yeah, the story is just here. Can you just bump into all of that? And then it's like, oh yeah, sure. Let's see, there's sight. That might be a thing. That might be a thing. You could die if your heart rate goes up too high. Oh no. You could also die if you bleed out, if you lose all your health. You can get items for that. The boss fights in this game get really wacky. Like one of the levels, they give you a quiz on who the villain is. That one is great. The more you play this game, though, the weirder it gets, and I think that's part of the reason that I'm very drawn to this game. Because like, you go out here, coming up, and I think it's right here. There's Is it over here? There should be a baseball bat out here somewhere. Well, there's a baseball, you know, the old classic exploding baseball. There's a reason to believe the levels are out of order, and this one should be third, not first. Yeah, I can agree with that. The game is really messy, but like, I mentioned this before the stream to Gilder. I was like, this game is a really good like 6 or 7 out of 10. Where like, oh, it does so much wrong, but at the same time, I kind of just can't look away from it. Here we go. This is baseball.
I mean, it does a lot of stuff wrong, but it also does so much right. In
like this
pure weirdness.
Like look at this bat.
Jimmy, it's time for practice. Get out to the training field now.
Yeah, Jimmy, get off your ass. Come on.
What's really funny there is the bat's mouth moves, which adds to the weirdness of, well, how come the mouths don't move, right?
Oh, true.
I think it's certainly a choice to be like, hey, wait a second. Let's see what we got for items. This will lower my bleeding. This will heal me. The chases in this game are incredible, by the way. What were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say, it does make the bat like more weird, just in a really on a different axis than normal weirdness. I'm kind of into it.
It is. No, yeah, this game is made for sickos. Like there's a save point over there, but I'm not gonna bother since I'm not gonna be finishing this run. When you get to the chase scenes in this game, a couple of the levels have chases. The chases are incredible because they're really badly designed in the best way. So when you're getting chased, you're not going to be able to get chased. When you press the Y button, it brings up the map, right? Every time you bring up the map, the guy chasing you will stop for a few seconds and let you get a head start. So you can just like every 2 steps just do like this and like pause buffer it, and then he'll just sit there the entire time and then let you just get to the end. It's really funny. Just the lack of effort is just wild. This is Dummy Man. He's a dummy man.
I loved him in Undertale.
Enemies in this game. Oh yeah, no, he's great. Enemies in this game, if they're in a fight with multiple enemies, friendly fire is very real. They will just hurt themselves and like kill each other. I kind of love it. Nothing special. I do wish I had a save for some of the later stuff, because some of the really crazy levels I think would have been pretty fun to show off. I think my favorite level might be the mall. They give you the prize immediately, and to change things up though, because every level again is a different level in terms of how you play it. The prize for that one is given to you instantly, but every time the traps hit you, or almost every time, the game basically says, all right, well, you're gonna lose money now. So you have more incentive to try and slow down and really observe. Like if you wanted to like go through a haunted house, this is definitely a way to do it, because I really tried to think for a while if there was any game out there that played like this, but I really can't think of one. And like I've talked to people about this, and everyone's pretty much like, yeah, it's kind of its own game. You're not really gonna find another game like this. And when this game came out, I believe this was a really late Dreamcast title, so a lot of people wanted a horror game because there wasn't a ton of horror on the Dreamcast, and what there was pretty bad. You had games like The Ring: Terror's Realm, which if you've seen that game, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That one is it's pretty amazingly bad. But this game comes along and everyone's like, "Oh hey, we need to try playing this new game. What's this cool new horror game?" And then, it's played as such a silly joke. I think this pissed off people when it came out because of that it was like, "Hey, wait a minute. How come the game is played for laughs? We wanted like a serious horror game." I get it. Yeah, Blue Stinger is related to this. That was a launch title, and there's some nods here and there in the game. But I also, here's like the nastiest looking salad ever. I don't really know why it looks
that.
Like that's a salad. But yeah, when this was coming out, I'm pretty sure it horribly bombed because of the fact that like it wasn't what people wanted. People didn't know that it wasn't a very different game. Like this game, I would describe it as like it plays like a B movie. Is the best way to describe it. Like if you want to emulate what it's like to be in a B horror movie, you got it. This is basically the perfect simulation of that. And it plays it extremely campy. Like you're playing as the final girl, That's like a big horror thing. So it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. If you choose to fight, you do get adrenaline back, but again, I don't really see much reason for showing it off for a bit. And I guess the silly nature of this game probably is part of the reason that at the time it failed, but I feel like it's kind of had a resurgence with the horror community and like just Dreamcast fans and other games in general. I think it's about it though, because there's only so much I can really do in a short time, and I figured, I wanted to get the basics around and just be like, hey, this is a pretty cool game for what it tries to do. Does it do it well? Probably not. It's honestly, it does it pretty bad. But I like this game. I think it's fun to play. I think it's fun to talk about. It's a good silly game to play, especially during October. It's a treat. That's how I would describe this game. It's just a good game to get a good laugh on, and that's why I have to recommend it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's better for something to be like a little janky but interesting than to be like good but boring.
That's exactly why I like this game. Like, yeah, if it was just a good game, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't think people would be talking about this game. But because this game is just such a disaster and a mess, as you could see in so many different ways, it's just like, oh yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, no, it's a real mess.
By the way, a quick apology. Speaking of a mess, I totally forgot to up the bit rate on the OBS copy I was using. So if I promise Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop does not look like a blurry mess when you play it. That's just on me.
Charm.
That's absolutely on me. The art in that game is beautiful. Anyway, just wanted to clear up my oops.
Well, my game is Banana and the Bobber, the sequel to Banana and
Run
the
that
Bobber.
again now?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this game.
I do not. I've not heard of this.
Wait, that game's like ancient. When did the sequel come out?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Let's enlarge. I'm gonna just play this live. It's I'm playing it mostly. I've done it on speed bump actually, because it got its final update recently. They added Chip
crazy.
Potato and other fancy bosses to this game. Some story for you.
Corncobulus, what a freaking name.
Yeah, so Banana Nababa was a free, and still is, good luck finding it, I guess. I mean, I actually am hosting it just as a mirror, because it's hard to get a hold of. It's a cool little game where it's like a boss rush. It's playing music from NES Gremlins, and it has no other music in it, and it's just a cool little action boss rush arena thing. This is that, but really, like, tremendously well done compared to that. I like this game a lot. And I'm not sure exactly what they added. They added a couple bug fixes, and I think a couple animations in here, and 3 new bosses.
How recent is this update?
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, well, that was well timed for this.
Yeah. I was looking for what to do, and then I saw that pop up. I'm like, yeah. Put it into my veins, Banana Nababa. We're gonna play Harry Pipples. Alright. It's been a while since I played this. I figured it would be better if I came in without having any familiar knowledge. We did not have the nose hair, which is like the golden ticket collectible we need to unlock the secrets. So in addition to fighting these fellas, we need that.
I'm gonna teach you the basics. Here's a timer.
Now that is a voice.
Oh, hello, I'm a ghost.
The dev is in my Discord and worked with us on the speed bump.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I think I remember you also had the first game on a mystery tournament.
I did, but it's not a console game, which is part of the reason it's hard to play. It is it might be on itch. It is a PC game. I think we have a, we have a hover, but have not been making use of. Yeah. Gotta give me some of that.
Love the art style. Everyone's like so weird and grody in an appealing way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like a good stylized kind of game. I think it stands out better. I was just talking about this recently on my own stream where I was talking about Wind Waker and how I think that game's art style holds up because it tried to do an art style rather than be super realistic.
Oh, hello, I'm a ghost. I'm gonna teach you the basics.
Thanks, Ghost. I'll do better this time. You
Show
can
those
really
Rocket Boys who's boss.
pour on damage in both of these games, if you want to, or you can play it safe and look for secrets. But the record we got for when we did speed bump up the first game was like 2 minutes or something ridiculous. People went nuts.
That's wild.
I feel like auto fire is a new feature that we absolutely are happy to have, and we just let them have it with you know, outside support in the first game. I can't remember if it had it or not, but it is a lot of shooting. You basically had Castlevania access.
Yeah. That'd be the worst.
I'm taking so much damage from this guy.
I like this Dracula broccoli.
I was about to say, yeah, tell Dracula to go home.
Oh man,
He's got the Dracula triple fire.
I give up. We're going to a different stage. Tutorial's too strong for me. Let's do Voodoo Mask, who absolutely sounds familiar. I think he might be the first boss in the first game. More or less.
I remember the first boss in that game just being like a big square head that spent a lot of time above you.
Yeah, that checks out from what I remember too.
I feel as though I'm going to have to play this eventually.
I think there's stuff up here. I gotta sneak up there though, because he's being a jerk. Yeah. We're on a route to get the secrets. Ah!
So I take it there's also something on the right side as well, or
I think so.
is it only on the left?
Get over there someday.
It's an apple.
It's an apple.
Fantastic. It's an apple.
Oh.
I wasn't really sure what that was up until the game told me. So, you know, I'm very glad. I thought it might have been a tomato for a second.
I feel like you could make an entire list of arcade pit challenges out of this game alone. Jesus Christ, man. These fights are intense.
This game is on Steam. It's free. Just like the first game is. Which is part of the extreme look at this game. How could this be free value? Like, this is a game I would sell for $5 to everybody, and I would expect them to buy it.
Yeah.
It's almost a crime that the game
please charge money for your good games.
Free, yeah.
For the love of God, make a living.
Okay, now we're doing the voodoo jump.
Using his tongue as a spring is unhinged and awesome.
It seems like all of the games, minus the last couple that they made, are entirely free on Steam that they made, which is a lot.
Got him.
They have like 12 free games on Steam, which is crazy. They're putting out quality like this.
He's charged for your games. This is worth money.
I'm
not
taking
saying
this
just
thing
like. Not saying like.
We were saying it to be nice. I want to give you. I want to give you $5 for this, please.
I do too.
I would do 10. 10 is fine with me too.
I need more quality games on Steam for money.
It
Even though I
feels-
made a living playing the crap.
It feels like cheese to find the right place to shoot those things with this gun, but I assure you it is very carefully and intended. Having worked on the speed bump with this, and the dev was watching all of it, watching our speedrunners do this stuff. And there's absolutely secrets around here that I'm not getting, and I don't remember. I think we can get inside the wall here, and maybe on the left even.
Oh yeah, there's some like guy with a little hat over there. I see. Yeah.
And there's different characters that you unlock that do different things. Oof, I fell.
Who's your favorite?
I mean, I like this guy and his little hover, okay. I can't remember too many of the other ones. The first game didn't have alternate characters.
Yeah, I remember it just being the one guy.
Taking out these little turrets helps a lot. I can find the
This just
location.
feels like. This just feels like kind of like the logical modern equivalent of, say, like Galaga or something like that, or some other. Mostly because of the patterns of the ships, or not the ships, but the little booger monsters or whatever they're coming after you. But still, it just kind of feels like, I don't know, that'd be kind of how it would do if it was a modern game. I like.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the pattern is very Galaga inspired.
Yeah.
The cool little beast gave me a bridge. Oh,
This
it's
game reminds
gone.
me of Galaga. It's this guy who's only ever played Galaga.
Yeah. Some real boss baby vibes from this banana and a babber.
Oh, it's rude that they take away the bridge that you like worked so hard to make.
I feel like you can time that to have it when you like to have it. 'Cause
Yeah, it seems like a one-use thing.
Yeah, he
Does it show up
responded
when
to me.
Does it show up when you kill the 4 turrets? I thought that was what I noticed, but I was kind of. There's a lot going on, and I have ADHD, so.
Can't believe this guy's still kicking. Damn.
He's like the Black Knight.
I would say this game's particularly easy. There's a lot to learn here. There is a method to it.
I think for me, though, I definitely prefer having characters that have a lot of good mobility. That's usually my go-to for video games.
Little arenas, though.
Yeah. Kind of by the hover, I'm like, oh yeah, no, mobility is very nice.
Yeah.
Another win for Harry Pipples.
Take that, Swarm Padre. A lot of unlockable characters you like if you want mobility. There you go. Dark Man with the info.
I feel like some of them have like quadruple jump or something. I can't remember exactly how they work though.
That's pretty sick.
That's wild.
Oh, this thing poisons my gun to remove my reload rate when I get sick. This corpse.
I think your gun's sick.
My gun gets sick.
This gun are sick.
I'm also feeling like there might be a quick kill for this guy somehow, somewhere in this. Like, he comes to stage 3 and I can smash him. I can't remember how, though. They might be killing these zombies, actually. Maybe we should work on that.
Just step it up, son. Come on. How dare you?
Yeah.
It's one of those spelunky ass deaths right there. Kill something and then a ball falls on your head and crushes you for no reason.
Oh, that poison. This isn't working as well. He's so good with that poison shot. I hate that so much. It feels terrible.
Does it
to
track?
lose my speed. Yeah, he's shooting it at
A little
me.
bit. It seems like it has like slight tracking.
Yeah, for just a... Okay, yeah, it absolutely
Yeah,
just
no,
changed direction.
it's
Yeah.
absolutely just trying to home in a tiny bit, but not like perfectly.
The plague bug wall has appeared.
Oh, I see. It looks like it locks in its vector after like after it gets a certain distance from you or something like that. Maybe a certain amount of time on screen.
Oh no. Yuck. Okay, yeah. This boss is
no.
Thank you.
this boss is gonna be the big
Seems
wall.
like a beast.
Rude guy.
The quick kill is very nice, and I do not remember it at all.
What's the quick kills? Well, I guess you don't remember. So, but like, does anyone in chat remember?
I think there's a chance it would kill me too. I just some kind of explosion happens,
Okay.
and I feel like it is involving murdering a billion zombies.
I suppose it is faster to kill a billion zombies than it is one fly.
Well, that's just good math.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that hover coming in clutch.
Yeah, apparently it's killing the little zombies so someone gets annoyed enough to launch a death bomb or something like that. Takes out a boss phase, but has a limited range and can also just kill you.
Is it that guy?
It's, I would imagine. Yeah, he does seem to be pissed.
Ugh. Yeah.
Wow.
If you can get the boss with that, that would be nice. There's a lot more game here to go. They added 3 more bosses. That's unbelievable. And they have, I don't know what randomized does exactly. Let me look at the notes here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what this does.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming it's just, since it's a boss rush game, it's just play stages in a random order, but...
Changes the boss patterns.
Oh, wow.
Six mildly unique characters, 6 disgusting bosses, strong anti-crypto sentiment.
Hell yeah.
It's got in cons retro 8-bit nostalgia childhood graphics. I'm glad they have their own soundtrack too. I do like the Gremlins NES soundtrack, but I was looking. Okay, here's the major. 3 new bosses, bug fixes, difficulty adjustments. There's a secret ending. Almost 40 chivos that suck. I think they just added those because I didn't have any, and I should have had them. Certainly have beaten this before. Further insults for crypto has been added. Nice.
Good.
Keep them coming. I'm down.
That's Banana and the Baba. I would recommend doing better than me and getting further and finding the secrets in it.
I may have to give that a try. I'm going to note that down, actually.
Plenty of speed runs around. And the first game, if you want to find it, let me see. It's just called Banana and the Baba. You certainly can find YouTube playthroughs of it quickly enough. I don't know where you would grab it though. It's probably on Archive or something, if not anywhere else.
I was about to say it's probably on archive.org.
I have it. I remember, like when speedbump.run was a website we had, it was up there. But I have it, and I don't mind hosting it if that's the only way to get it. I don't mind. Whatever, it's fine. But it is a picture of it here.
Yeah, it's on archive. I found it. You want me to post that in the chat or something? Or
Sure, if you want.
okay.
It's probably not very hard to find if you grabbed it that way, yeah.
There you go.
This is like the SNES game, and that's the NES game. That's what the difference feels like. I got pictures of it here. This is just boss 1. And you either throw axes, Castlevania axes, or you shoot spears. Basically, that's...
Oh, it really does look like the guy from this game.
Here's the dragon thing. I like that game a lot too. I recommend them both. I'm pumping for both of them, but this one is on Steam. It's very easy to run because of that. Like, it's modern. It actually just goes. And Banana Nababa is like, we made a free game in 2000 nothing, and here it is. So it's a little rougher to get it just because of that. I don't feel like it was ever... I think it would be a total rehaul if they remade it, basically, so they never did.
Be nice though if they put it on Steam just so it's more easily accessible.
That's my game.
That's a pretty good looking one. I got to give that a try soon.
Yeah. The first one was really good, so I'll definitely have to play it.
Yeah, I grabbed the link to that as well.
Oh, that's a fun one. I don't know if it has auto fire or not. It's not too bad. I don't if it doesn't and it needs it, it's not too bad because I don't remember like hurting my hand playing it, but the sequel definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably stick with the sequel if the first one doesn't have auto fire. I'm getting old, man. 46 is a bit much to practice my mashing anymore.
Well, thanks for joining me, everybody.
Yeah,
this was a lot of fun.
This was big fun, man. I'm glad to do it again sometime too.
Yeah. I'm gonna take 5 and do a little bit more broadcasting.
Alrighty.
What are y'all
Take care,
into?
y'all.
You want to plug something?
I've got a playthrough of Lifeline with achievements coming up. Pretty much everybody's doing that lately, but
yeah,
you know,
I gotta replay that myself at some point because I did that one a few years ago and I was like, this is gonna get in race, and eventually I'm gonna have to replay it.
If I can get it working again, the last time I played, I used voice meter to let the game hear a text-to-speech version of chat, so people could occasionally, like, you know, use a channel point reward or tip or whatever to try to screw up my commands for Rio in the middle of a fight. So that should be entertaining if I can get that working again. But other than that, yeah, I'm done.
What are you into, Juker?
I am about to go play some Pirate Yakuza on my end. I've been playing that since it came out last week. It's very silly. It's the new Yakuza game. Majima gets amnesia and becomes a pirate in Hawaii.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Very good game.
Minimat, what'd you get to? Minimat's disappeared.
Oh, sorry, I had unintentionally bumped my mute button on my mic. Oops.
Oh, hate when that happens.
I mostly want to plug the Pit Crew Trans Am fundraiser on the 15th. Please watch that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Good luck with that. I'm definitely going to have to support that.
A lot of behind the scenes stuff is being talked about for what is going to happen, and it all rules. It's very sick, and I really believe in the cause. It would be great if you all showed up and watched, etc., etc.
I feel like I'm in that. And I need to prepare some content for that.
Get to it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm slacking on getting prepared for events. Like, I need to be awake more.
God, you're telling me.
Well, thanks for joining me. I'll see you all later.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Yeah, take care.
And thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Night, everyone.
Have a wonderful night.